Aloha and welcome to Connection to the Cosmos with your host, me, Dr. Lisa Thompson, where I have out of this world conversations with extraordinary people. Today, I'm really excited to have on Karen Kartika, and we'll bring her on in just a moment. But first, just a couple of announcements. If you have not had the opportunity to grab my free 20-minute meditative journey to meet your galactic family and guides, make sure you do that at mysticmanta.com or drlisajthompson.com. Also, for any healers out there, I am doing my Galactic Ascension Channel Certification Program, which is my unique modality, which brings in energy from different galactic groups. And that certification program is being taught September 21st and 22nd. And October 2nd to the 6th, I'm doing my Galactic Retreat here in Hawaii on the Big Island. 5 intensive days of really connecting with your galactic family, and information on both certification and the retreat can be found on my website, mysticmanta.com or drlisajthompson.com. And then if you are traveling to Hawaii anytime throughout the year, specifically coming to the Big Island, then come on one of my Big Island UFO tours where you will see the night sky in a whole new way using the Advanced Generation 3 military night vision goggles. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to bring Karen on. Hello, Karen.
Hi, Dr. Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so great to have you here with me. And let me share with the audience your bio, because you do some really incredible things. I look forward to talking with you.
Awesome.
As a transformative coach and intuitive guide, Karen Kartika specializes in cultivating emotional and spiritual intelligence and empowering high achievers to effortlessly manifest their best and most extraordinary life. With a global perspective and a diverse toolkit of skills, Karen offers a unique approach to coaching tailored to the needs of those seeking inner peace, confidence, and effortless manifestation. Whether you're a creative, healer, entrepreneur, or business professional, Karen invites you to rediscover your inner spark and walk through life with confidence and grace. Through a blend of mindset coaching, shamanism, and holistic healing methods, Karen guides her clients to overcome obstacles with ease, tap into their innate magic, and create the life they truly desire. Imagine a life where manifestation feels effortless, where inner peace is your constant companion, and where you walk through each day with unwavering confidence in your ability to create your own reality. She offers tarot, oracle, and astrological readings, adding an extra layer of magic to her transformative coaching sessions. Wow. So we were talking before the show, and we do have a lot of similarities in the kind of work that we do. So I'm super excited for this conversation. But before we get into your work, I would love for you to share with me and the audience kind of how you grew up, spiritual, religious, something else, so we understand the transition of how you got into this work.
Okay, great. I grew up Catholic. And it was not like my parents also grew up Catholic. They actually converted into Catholicism so that I could go to good school. Easy as that. I grew up in Indonesia. I was born and raised in Indonesia. My parents, they came from, I guess, not very religious beliefs. If because of the Chinese descendant, they probably have some kind of Buddhism in their lineage. But according to my father, before Catholicism, he never really pray or do anything. And then all of a sudden, because now they have me, and they're like, oh, okay, let's plan what this little girl needs in the next 10 years. So they ended up being Catholics. So born and raised into Catholicism, I guess. And my I in the family, my mom was the one who's a stickler into going into the whole routine of being a good Catholic. And that was one that has been kind of given to me by default. Although I continuously rebelling ever since I was at church. I'm fall asleep, I'll go play, and then whenever they took me, I'd be like complaining most of the time. I'm like, why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we here? It's so hot. Why are we here? But as I grew into an adulthood, there's some part of not the routine, but the rites or the way that we pray in Catholics that um, gave me that connections to spirit world. To Of course, in the Catholicism, they introduce us to gods, saints, angels. So that was kind of like my preview into the world of spirituality, which I admire, not admire, but I honored from the Catholic religion.
Mhm.
And then as I grew, I was born in Indonesia, so I don't know if anybody know the country is 99% Muslims, although in the constitutions, we have to honor all religions, and there are 5 religions that we honor. That's why if you ever been to Indonesia, you will find that we always have holidays, because we respect not just the Muslim religions, the Catholics or Christians, Hindu, Buddhists, and their local or their traditional religion. So we always have holidays, because they'll be like the Buddhist New Year's, or the Hindus, Day of Peace, and then the Muslims has the longest New Year celebrations, and now we also include the Chinese New Year. So I mean, that's the beauty of being back home. Actually, you rarely work, I guess. I don't know how we got away with that.
Well, so then what opened your mind to getting into some of the more like metaphysical stuff that you do, and this like
Uh,
spiritual that kind of sometimes the Catholic Church kind of contradict, like it's
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So when I was little, because I'm not Indonesian, I have fair skin, different than Indonesians because of my Chinese descendant from my grandparents. On top of that, my parents chose Catholicism, of course, because they couldn't really identify themselves as well to become Muslims. Again, there's like a lot of that racism, not racism, but just different backgrounds and cultural differences that, as somebody who came into somebody else's culture, different backgrounds, face, skin color, then we sort of kind of separate ourselves. So when I was growing up, my mother always trying to protect me by saying, okay, don't make sure that you pick your friends. Don't just have friends who are, first of all, look at your skin color, second of all, your religions. Stay within the Catholic. So she always pushed me into like Catholic school, Christian school, and whatnot. Although within that Catholic schools, I mean, because the country also, um, we have to honor all religions. They all have other religions in the class, and I never really identify with that descriptions, like, oh, just because I'm a Chinese descendant, I have to only play with the Chinese, the same skin color, or because I'm a Catholic, that means I can only be friends with the Catholics. So I always challenge that. In fact, most of my friends growing up are just coming from different backgrounds and religions, and I enjoy that. So I get to talk to them like, hey, how do you pray? Like, why do you have to pray 5 times? Why do you have to like do all those, like standing up and then rolling down? Or if you go to temple, why are you praying to that God? So why do you have to do that routines? And then I let people know as well. Okay, in the Catholics, we're doing this and all, and so on and so forth. So with that background, I always challenge like, why does religion exist? And that was the biggest question that I always have. So whenever I go traveling, part of the travel always visit the sacred temples. But because of my background, of course, it's the sacred churches. And I look at the church, and I started to like sense like there's more to this. And that's what opened me into the world of metaphysics, because as I starting to tap into what energy is, how we can heal ourselves, that is so different than how the medical system work. And then I start to understand about subconscious, and then I'm like, okay, there's way other stories that I'm not aware here. So that's when I start to poke around and started to understand that even religion came from the root of spirituality.
Mhm.
It's just that the way that it's being conveyed through different people, then it becomes different religion. And the religion that we have today, it's a constitution. It's not constitution, sorry. It's kind of like a structure where people have like a certain government within that religion, so that they can continue having the people that goes to their worship places,
Mhm.
if I may say it that way, because it becomes a like mini government in a sense. So I realized that my what I sense as like no matter what the religions is, what we're praying to or what we're connecting to is beyond just the title, the names that people give into this religious figures. They are all could be real people, right? But they also could also be archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that because once we release all the layers of, oh, I can only pray to this kind of God, that way, then my prayers answered. Hey, if that works for you, great. But I also know that I can just pray to anything. Even if I talk to a flower, flower can give me something. That's why I'm taking flower essences, because I get a lot of energies, soul energies from the flowers. I talk to animals. I know you speak to manta ray, and they give me soul energies as well. I now have a practice to just go out during the daytime, especially at 12 noon, which is kind of for Asian people. They'll be like, no, 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 you cannot, because your skin's gonna get dark and you have the sunspot and everything like that. But I realized that, especially in the American culture, we're so constrained into buildings. But when you're out and you speak to the sun and you ask for the energy, you get the soul energy from the sun. So we can get blessings from anything in the world. Why is it that there's that belief, right? Especially one that ingrained in the Catholicism or the Christianity, your way to what was it? The way to salvation is only through this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, what about those people who are not in your religion, but they're also going to, they're also, being brought into heaven. But all of those other people who are said to be like the good Catholics or the good Christians who still doing things that are from where I sit is not
Mm-hmm.
ethical. So that's where I'm like, okay, forget about all this. I do believe in Chris, Jesus Christ as the energy of Christ, which is the Sacred Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I understand it now as I really do a lot more research. Even Jesus Christ was just kind of like a character that has to be there so that people has somebody to relate to. Whether he's really true, there's truly a person who's Jesus Christ. We don't know. I mean, this is like we're talking about years and years and years and years ago. But I like the energy of Jesus Christ. I do love the energy of Mother Mary because that's the most beautiful, nourishing female energy. So what I'm working through it in my own spiritualism is who I do need to call into in my world right now, and I ask for that guidance. And I still believe in the higher power. I believe in the source because the source is the one that holds all this universe together. And the more that I can connect with that bigger source, because this is another thing that I just recently tapped into. It's like you also studied human design and you've
Mm-hmm.
seen your human design chart, and it's an amazing chart because sometimes we have like gates that are lit up, gates that are empty, energy centers that lit up, energy centers that empty. And why is that? And I started to see the chart as puzzles, and we're just little puzzle that complete the whole universe. And if we think about the whole universe as the source, basically we're little puzzles of this whole universe of what we call the source. So the more that we can tap into the source, that means we keep connecting to everyone on the planet. And because we're connecting, it really then comes back to me and say, okay, what am I doing today that will create this connection to be positive? Or what am I creating today in my own thoughts and my emotions that can actually influence, because we're so connected in this puzzle piece, that can actually make this world becomes however it is that I'm experiencing here, because that's what we're experiencing right now with the war, with the economy, which is the way that things are going. I wonder if it's because just majority of us are not in that alignment, are not in that happy place, are not remembering that we are all connected, so that if you're actually behaving, thinking, emoting things that are dissonance or things that are not vibrating in a positive or high vibration way, then yeah, everybody, the whole reflection of realities right now is just reflecting back to us of how much that we are so angry, disappointed, sad, in despair in ourself, in our life, that now it's just being reflected as wars and everything like that, which kind of, I'm not saying this is something that we have to be scared of or anything, but that gives us a way to work through it, right? The challenges are all just mirrors of things that, hey, wake up, you have work to do, and
Mhm.
here we are.
Yeah,
I don't know,
beautiful.
just like going all over.
So, well, so did you start your career doing the spiritual work that you're doing, or no? Okay, so how long have you been doing the spiritual work, like as a business, as a healer?
I would say I think I'm becoming more comfortable becoming a healer and doing my spiritual uh, work or practice since COVID.
Okay.
Before that, I dance around between, oh, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a life coach, I'm a consultant, and I still have my background in marketing that also still front and easiest for people to like. Oh, what's Karen doing? Oh, she's still doing marketing consulting. Um, and something happened in 2017, 2018 that was kind of like, all right, things are not what I think it's supposed to be. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm
Hmm.
going to trust it. So 2017, 2018, I was going through, my life was just kind of like, and I just don't want to get into it. But and the beauty of it, it's just like, all right, I just have to be more aware now what is really going on inside of me and what I really want. And that's, I guess, the question that until today, it's still my kind of my GPS whenever I feel like things are shifting. Like, I don't know if anybody here also feeling like this year, especially, we are being called to take that road. A lot of us, I feel like being on a crossroad again. It's coming to this year that, all right, you still really want to just take it the way you think, you believe needs to be, or are you open to extraordinary, which you don't have any experience at? Yes, it's gonna rack your brain and make you really, you know, scared like hell, but we don't know. But that's the excitement that we can all, be guaranteed in, that we don't know, is that things we're gonna experience something new. So um to I'm sorry, I keep answering your question with like long stories, but I guess I started to get curious in 2011 to be exact. Before that, it was just like going into like, oh, there's a self healing here, self healing that, meditation here and there. But 2011 was the one that I'm like, okay, I want to learn about this. 2012, when I started practicing hypnotherapy, but I was just kind of like still on the side. 2020 was when I'm like, you know what? Instead of thinking that this is a side business and this was my main business, which is more the marketing stuff, I'm gonna put this in the top and this is gonna be like on the bottom.
Well, so tell me the kind of clients that come to you. Like, who's your ideal client, and how do you help them?
Funny thing is, my ideal clients are those who are like me, who were in professional world, corporate America, if you want to call it, and yet they're being called to do something else, which for some of them, they actually already have their psychic sense since they were young. However, because we were not acknowledged to have those present in us when we were young, they closed it. I myself included, I had to close it. All the ability that I can tap into, even though it's still there, but they're very quiet. They're in the background, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of my clients are actually the one who, when they were young, they were so powerful, and something happened that they really have to close it because it gets too scary, it gets too overwhelming, and the only way they have to survive in this world is to not have those. But then now they are being asked to come back to that and reopen that so that they can live truly more in alignment with their purpose. And that doesn't mean that they will have to then uproot themselves and you know, get away from their whatever that makes them happy, because a lot of them are happy being professionals.
Hmm.
They don't have to be like, and I invite everyone who's in the crossroad right now, you don't really have to just then close the door of your past life and then become like what we do. uh, there there's so many ways. Don't ever, and this
Yeah.
is the beauty of 2024. I have to remember this is 2024. The beauty of 2024 is like, it's unlimited possibilities, and we're in this time where, what even for me, what I used to not be able to do prior to this, like with technology, with the way that I can write faster, the way that I can help, you know, have the assistant to write and transcribe and things like that faster. We have it. That means we have more time to then explore and create from the bottom of our heart, not just for making money, which that's still also important, but you have the capacity to now see, okay, there's we can do this. Whatever you want security and challenge at the same time. You want money and also doing this beautiful work, possible. The only thing that is holding everyone back, including my clients, is themselves, because they get, it's scary, like I said, right? Stepping
Hmm.
into something that they haven't done before, and being able to now talk to spirit and have to explain to their friends, families, that they actually can see and talk to spirits. And when they're also finding that, oh my god, I'm actually this being now, and you know, having, allowing that embodiment to be present there on, you know, on top of what they are in their day to day, and noticing how that is evolving as well, takes some times and does take courage from everyone. So that's my, you know, most of my clients are, I have to say, they're pretty fearless and courageous, not like I was when I was just starting.
Well, and I like what you said, that people who are starting to wake up, or come back to their innate abilities, it doesn't mean that they necessarily do have to do it for a living. It's just, but the more that they understand like who they really are and can keep their energy at a higher vibration, then that is going to naturally propel out into their community, into their environment.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then, in terms of the clients coming to you, so then do people come to you for individual sessions, like, okay, well, I need hypnotherapy, or is it kind of a just whatever the client needs and you decide how you're going to work with them?
Yes, I do have what people call discovery calls, of course, right? After
Hmm.
they probably see me on YouTube and in one of my classes. I have kind of like have not really done a lot of classes this last couple of years, because I felt like I have another things coming that I'm still putting together right now. So majority are coming for one-on-one right now. And yeah, sometimes they come because of for divinations in the beginning, right? They're unsure where they need to go. They feel like they are being called to do something, but they don't know where to begin. So they come for me for divination, whether it's astrology, whether it's oracle, whether that's human design, and then from there, it you often evolves, because that is my session is all about reconnecting to the soul, reconnecting to your spirit, to that spark, that inner spark, because at the end of the day, what I my my work with them is so that they can trust that inner spark again, that intuitions, that psychic ability that they have. Because once you are in tune to that, in tune to that, um we all have experienced it, things just flow, like you don't even have to strategize much. Things are just coming on your your way, whether it's maybe the next right job, or the next relationship, right partners to go into business with, um, things that we thought in the way that we were operating before, that we have to think it first, it's the
Hmm.
opposite way. And I feel like that's what more of, like I mentioned, that puzzle piece, right? We all here for with a purpose already. What's
Mhm.
holding us back is because we thought purpose has to be the things that we do for a living, or the things that we have to create for, to succeed in this world right now. Well, in fact, if we can take a step back and reconnect to that blueprint that we have, to that puzzle piece that strongly is within us, we seem to just attract everything into us exactly the way it needs to be, which makes life more effortless in a
Yeah.
way.
When for me, really, it was learning my human design that made my life flow way easier because so I'm a sacral generator.
Ah,
And when I first learned that, okay, number one, I have to wait for an opportunity. I'm not supposed to initiate things, right? Because I used to initiate and push, and things would be really hard, or whatever I was trying to create wasn't working. And so when I learned, okay, no, it's the opportunity, and then I get to respond from my gut.
yeah,
And even it's been a practice, of course. It's
yeah,
over the last 10 years that I've been working with it. But if I got a gut yes, even if I'm like, why? I don't know. Like if I take that step, then the other steps start to show up and then it becomes easier, right? And
yes,
so and I've made some huge life changes over the last 10 years
yes,
by trusting that, inner GPS, including completely changing careers and leaving a toxic husband and moving to Hawaii. So,
wow,
so I'm
right.
curious for you, like how has knowing this stuff and even working with your clients, but how has that helped you in your life?
One thing about being a generator, because I'm actually a manifesting generator myself,
Okay.
is that if we don't wait to respond to the universe, we will expand a lot of the energy and hit the wall over and over and over and over again. And we still say, I'm still going to continue that. Because generator built, and we push, we want things to move. And when we're not putting that in the right track, we're still going to go, and we're still going to hit that wall.
Mhm.
And we're just still going to get frustrated, and we're still going to do that. So that was my life until I stopped. One of the person who taught me about human design, our first few session frustrated the hell out of me, because she would be like, I'd be like coming in with all this like new ideas. I'm gonna do this. I have the strategy. It's gonna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's just like, Karen, yeah. Can you close your eyes? Okay. And then it's like, just close your eyes. And then just close your eyes and breathe. And then just goddamn close your eyes and breathe. And she waited and waited patiently. She's a projector, by the way.
Okay.
So you understand how the guide works in this way. And
Yeah.
she would just like wait until my energy become still and align again. And then she asked me questions. And she
Mhm.
asked me like, you have this idea, what do you think? Not what do you think, like, you have this idea, do you want to do it? And I kid you not, my whole body will jump with a no. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wait. No, 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 no. That was my not be a no. And then she asked me other yes and no question, which is a typical generator, manifesting generation questions. And
Mhm.
that's when I realized, even when I so excited, when I thought it was the great idea, but this whole body cannot lie.
No.
Yeah, and universe cannot lie. The energy is not there. It's just all here that I felt like, and I don't have my heart center defined. So I am picking up from everything and everyone excitement, and I make it myself because I have a lot of open centers, and then not none of them are true. So that was the biggest aha for me. And having somebody to be able to guide you through that was very crucial. It's because, again, we have been conditioned to just do it, You need
Right.
to strategize. You need to think big. You need, and then like nothing works. Why? And then you're then go crazy, either frustrated, stressed. Your nervous system is unregulated, and that's why one of the biggest thing for me is that I used to walk around with a lot of stress, and I didn't know it until my whole back was aching, and then realized that I was just my generator was just doing too much and thinking and believing that's the right things to do. And the minute that I can relax and start checking in, is this a yes or is this a no? And
Hmm.
when I'm feeling that and starting to walk one by one, which for me, for a manifesting generator, we hate going one by one, right? We just want to like go to the man and then, oh man, that was a mistake. We have to like backtrack. So like, but being able to just noticing, is it a yes and a no, a yes and a no, that somehow relaxed my nervous system and my physical symptoms were gone. So that was my biggest aha. And then of course after that, life is a little, I'm gonna say a little more um stable, although I still like to create that, of course, the spectacular of like, oh, I need that, and then have to like reel myself back. And being able to, for me, the biggest thing is just being able not to always carry the stress that becomes unconscious at one point because it's just, it's I'm so used to having that in my body
Hmm.
that relaxed me, that helped me not to continue having and carry that physical symptoms, thinking and believing that's, well, that comes with age, which is that's another untruth of this whole thing about the world. And being able to now understand what it means to respond to the universe, and the universe such a kind space that it will give you if you are willing to tune in, to then again to tune into this inner wisdom that we have, to then come into a place where, oh, okay, if there's nothing, okay, I'm gonna wait and I'm just gonna do something that makes me joyful and bring me into a state of higher vibration. And once I'm there, then the universe started, hey, go this way. And it's the craziest thing because it saved me, not just from my own craziness and stress and things that I destroy in my own body, but I was traveling with my parents to Paris one day, and we were at this metro station, a subway, um, underground, and and I was already kind of like, should I do this? Should I go? Should we actually? Because it was actually a holiday, and in my mind, it's like, what is open in Paris when it's a holiday, right? So in my mind, it's like, should we even try to go to this place? Should we not? And that moment, I was trying to buy a ticket, and my head's like, it's a no, it's a no. And kid you not, somebody was actually grabbing something on my from my backpack, which for anybody who's watching, please never have a backpack in Paris. Um,
Right.
and I was like, I still have my wallet in front of me, but they got something else, which has my passport. And when that happened, I just felt something, and I'm like, yes, what is that? And then I saw this lady, and she was just kind of like scooting away and going to that direction. And I called on her and said, "Hey, can you just give me back my?" And I didn't even check. I didn't even look what is in my backpack. Hey, can you just give me back my wallet? I don't know where that came from. Just give me back my wallet. And she's like, "What wallet?" And I tapped her hands, and my wallet fell down. That was for me. I was kind of like, where did that come from? But that's how, when you're starting to get really in tune, it just keeps you safe. It keeps you in the right directions, that you don't have to exhaust yourself, exhaust your
Mhm.
nervous system. It puts you in a flow, and things are just coming one after the other. It does not have to always be that, spectacular stories of life changing, but just day in and day out with the routine. It's just, so relaxing, so easy, that sometimes I even catch myself when I'm like trying to make things harder, and I'm like, what did I just do? Spend an hour and going into the headache, and then I'm now exhausted. Well, I could just sit and relax and paint and go to the park, and answer is gonna be there. But that remembering is the one that I often practice. I still practice myself, and I practice that with my client.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, so do you work with clients online or only in person? Because you're based out of LA right now,
Yeah.
correct?
I know most of my clients are now online ever since, of course, what happened recently. We move everything online also to give me flexibility to be here in LA and also be in Indonesia when I need to, or wherever else that I am being called to.
Yeah, excellent. Well, is there anything else that you would love to share with the audience about the work that you do that maybe we haven't covered?
No, I think that's pretty extensive already. I hope that I'm not hoping, but I feel like I already gave like a pretty good
Mhm.
pictures on who I'm working with, my ideal clients, and what I work behind the scenes. And yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it feels like it's work, and I know with my clients they come because they have a reason, right? There's something within themselves that they're dying to find out. Why are they feeling a certain way? Why their life is not working, or why it's working but they're still not satisfied and they want something else, and they're like, how many more do I have to go through this? Which is kind of like the excitement of all of us who are light workers who have gone through all of these processes, right? But for some people, it gets scary. So this is the place that when I connect with my clients, it's work, but it's fun, and that's because I'm also a Sun in Leo. Everything that I do has to be fun.
Okay.
Um, and we got to learn a lot without having to cram everything here. Because for me, what's important is that the soul is remembering, that you are remembering, that it becomes integrated in the body. Because once it's there, then your day to day, like I said, it becomes easy. You don't
Mm.
have to cram everything here. You don't listen to all these noises that's going on in the world right now. You don't always to check on your social and everything like that for validation of what you see. You will know because your body will then becoming that wise device that will give you that validation yourself, that you have that knowing of like, oh yeah, that's it. That's it for me. That's where I have to go. That's who I have to talk to. This is what I have to say and what not. So
Yeah, beautiful. Well, can you share with us how to find you, what your website is, what socials you're on, and all of that?
my social, I have Instagram under Spark Vesta, so SPARK Spark Vesta VESTA, and my website is still under construction right now because I'm putting together a new program that I'm going to be launching hopefully by summer, end of summer. Um, but that will be the best too is my Instagram Instagram and YouTube. I have a channel under Karen Kartika, and I do give weekly divination or oracle reading there. And underneath that videos, you will have all my contact information. I would suggest go and subscribe to my newsletter, because that's how a lot of my clients are finding when I open classes or when I open my one-on-one. And if I have like weekend workshop and anything, that's the best way to find out about that.
Okay, perfect. And so, well, I thank you so much for being on here with me today. And for those of you watching or listening, thank you for your time. And I'll see you next time on Connection to the Cosmos. Aloha.